Welcome to episode 1. He is Lais, and I am the coach. And that is the name of our show.
Everything stems from our identity.
You can still take a chance and take a risk, right?
What is the level of intention and attention that you were putting forth?
To us, success is being able to live life on our terms.
You're either going to take care of your health by choice or by obligation. So make it a choice now.
But it's about the experience.
If you're part of the living, you're going to have life.
What if it is better than you even thought?
We all have that limitless potential.
The fear that steps into most people paralyzes them.
I don't think anyone's ever said any of the shit you just said, which is amazing.
There's a lot of parts of you that you should let go of.
You have time for all of that. You have time for this too.
Guys, we are back.
We're back, bitches!
Welcome, everybody, to Lais and The Coach. Welcome, everybody, to Lais and The Coach 2026. This is episode number 10. I think this is season 12. I stopped counting seasons after season 10 because I really don't know where the seasons start and end. But this is certainly episode 10 for 2026. And we've been gone for a little bit. We've gone for 4 months.
It's been that long?
It's been 4 months. And so much has happened. And I have notes. I normally don't have notes, but I don't want to miss anything. So where do you want to start? So our last episode was at the very beginning of the WBFF season.
Okay, so back in April.
So back in April.
Okay.
And since then, we've been radio silent. But if you follow us on social media, you know that we are nonstop. But we just haven't done a formal episode. As a matter of fact, we haven't done an episode, just us, since January 2nd. Where we did a New Year's episode. That was the last time that you and I did an episode, just us. So we're back.
We're back.
And we have so much to share. We have so much to talk about. Over the last couple of months, we've done so many things. Again, if you are following us on social media, and before I get to that, that was one of the things that I want to talk about in this episode.
Okay.
This podcast, this community is supposed to be the community where we get to talk about all the things that we get to talk about, right? Contest prep the way we do it, Team Next Level, protein donuts, traveling, Airbnb like crazy people, like parenting, relationships, all the things that we do. But in order for it to be a community, it's like we need the other side of the community. So a lot of times people watch, and 2 years later, we'll be in a conversation with somebody and they'll say, yeah, just like you said on your podcast. It's like, but we don't know. We don't know what's going on. So one of the things that we want to do, or we want to encourage, is for you guys to ask questions and interact. If you hear something that sounded like a good idea, say it. If you hear something that sounded like a terrible idea, say it.
Anything, right?
But it's the only way we're going to be able to build community the way that we actually want to build it. Because a lot of these things we want to do in person. We want to have everybody here when we do these episodes so that we could talk to people in person. Yeah. But that brings me all the way back to, if you are following on social media, then you know that we are having a pretty long affair right now with Miami. We've been here for a couple weeks, and we love it.
We love it. It's home.
We love it. It was home before Central Florida was home.
Yeah.
I think a lot of you don't know that I was in Miami for 15 years before we moved to Central Florida. You?
22.
22 years in Miami. 16 years in Miami. Central Florida was like
the longest we've lived anywhere.
It's the longest that I have lived anywhere.
Yeah, me
for
too.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
it's always gonna feel like home.
We are not visiting Miami. We are just home. Yeah. There's no place that has cafecito windows like they have here. The ability to get coffee just about anywhere, which is very important for me.
Yes.
And we come down all the time. Again, back to all the stuff that we share, like, you know that we're down here all the time. So we've just been down here for an extended period of time. And right now we don't know what it's turning into. We don't know if we're going to be here for a month, a year, another 10, but it doesn't really make a difference because nothing about the way that we do stops, and nothing about the way we've organized our life requires us to specifically be in any one location.
Everybody already knows we will pick up and go just about anywhere, anytime.
I mean, you were with us for a year of Airbnb, hopefully. And if you were not with us and you are new to the channel, not this year that passed, not 2025, but 2024, we decided to go stay at an Airbnb for 30 days.
Yeah.
And that 30 days turned into 52 weeks. And we stayed at 33
Airbnbs, and then the rest
5 or 6
hotels.
different hotels.
Yeah.
But we spent 52 weeks on the road. So that isn't really like a secret.
It's not difficult for us.
It's not difficult for us.
We just love it.
But back to what we're doing now. So
Yes.
one of the things that we really wanted to share with everybody is that we are super, super, super committed to going on this transformation ride with so many more people. Like, I think it's hard to understand what you felt, even though you've talked about it, after your first show.
Yes.
Right? And the thing that came out of you when you said another woman has to experience this, which is how this all got set in motion, right? And we've talked about that in other episodes, and we've gone over it and
We've
over
talked
it.
about it a million times.
But I think over the years, as we've done more and more and more, and there's been so many different versions of our team, Team Forever, Team Next Level, and we've been all over the country, from LA to Atlantic City, from Vegas to Connecticut, all over Florida, different shows. It's easy to miss the why we got started in the first place. And the reason that we got started in the first place is because we really want to be a part of that moment when someone transforms and realizes that they did it without having to give up their life, without having to feel like they were over restricting themselves when it comes to food, without feeling like they had to live in the gym. That moment when they look and feel the very best they ever have, like, we want to be a part of that moment, and we want to recreate that moment so many more times. And I think that being in Miami kind of like reconnected us to that idea.
Yep.
And has really like brought back the feeling that we had when we first started. So if you see that we are posting so much more about the show that we were just at, and so many more transformations, so many more before and afters, and honestly even calling people out, saying,
Yes.
if you are somebody that has ever thought about doing something like this, like, the best time to do it was, or the best time to start was yesterday, and the second best time to start is right now.
Absolutely.
So if you're coming across this message and you've been thinking about a transformation, stepping on stage, doing one of our super cool photo shoots, then this is the moment.
Yeah.
So
There's nothing like this goal, honestly.
and that wasn't meant to be a pitch or whatever. No. It is our commitment right now. It is our life's mission right now.
Literal mission.
And we want to do that in the way that we've done it for everybody that we've done it in the past.
And I'll say this too really quick, like, even if you've never thought about doing something like this, because I agree with you, sometimes it's like, if you ever thought about doing something like this, but you don't know where to start, like, sure, there are a lot of people like that, but there are a lot of people that have, like me, that have never thought about doing something like this. And I think that those people need it even more, because I think as women, and I was actually talking to someone about this today, and again, we've gone into this so many times, any other episode, all over our social media, it's all there. But as women, we do give so much to everybody else. And a lot of times we are not necessarily thinking about ourselves or working toward anything. Even if this isn't something you ever thought about, it is something that will put you on the complete other side of wherever you're at. If you're in any sort of rut or don't really know what to do or don't really feel great about yourself, not just physically, but overall. If you're not where you want to be in life, a goal like this will literally put you on the other side of that as a completely different person in the best of ways.
And in order to make sure that we are staying true to that, there are two things that are happening currently, which we've shared everywhere. But number one, I have a series called 50 Weeks to 50 on YouTube. About 50 weeks, not 50 weeks ago, but about 6 or 7 weeks ago at this point, I was 50 weeks away from turning 50. I will be 50 next year. And I want to get to that point, feeling the best I ever have, being able to move. I mean, obviously you all know the story, like, I couldn't move. And the fact that I could walk right now is a freaking miracle on its own, but I want more than that. And I am documenting the 50 weeks to 50 in a way where I share and showcase all the different things that I am doing to arrive at that point, looking and feeling my best. I've added Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to my training regimen. I'm training at all these different gyms. I'm shooting a lot more. Basically, 50 is going to be the new, like, 30, right?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
It is like such an interesting time, because I remember growing up, when you were in your 40s, you were old, and when you were in your 50s, you were done.
Forget it.
And
It's over.
honestly, like there's still so much more in the tank, right? So I am documenting that. I am sharing that on YouTube. The series is 50 Weeks of 50. And the most important part of that series is whether I do anything or not doesn't matter, because I'm going to be 50 either way. So I might as well get there in the way that is going to feel the best. So that's one.
Wait, don't move too fast past it.
Blah, 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 blah.
How do you feel about turning 50 versus like, let's say 40?
It is the weirdest thing, because it's odd to say it, that you hit that half century point. And I think about a lot of things right now that I probably just really not considered. Like, I've been a parent half of my life. We were talking about this last night.
Mm-hmm.
Half of my life I've been a parent, and the half before that, most of that I was a kid, right? So I've been a parent longer than I haven't. I've been an adult longer than I haven't. I've done so many things in the last 15 years. We've been in so many situations. I wrote a book. We moved. We Airbnb'd. I was paralyzed. Like, so many things have happened, and I feel like 50 should not necessarily be the thing that people lean into and say, I don't really got a lot of time left, because I can't tell you that I feel any more tired than I did when I was 30 or 40.
And that's a testament to also how you live your life, obviously, because there are a lot of people a lot younger than you that are falling apart.
Correct.
But does it feel different? Like,
it still hasn't felt different. I've felt a couple of things. 45, I felt, there were some aches and pains that were new. Sometimes it's hard because I don't know if some of the things that I feel are Guillain-Barré related or age related. And then I look at the week. There's a lot of weeks where I'm tired, and then I look back at the week and I'm like, is it that I'm getting older? Is it the GBS, or is it simply that we worked out 17 times that week? We haven't slept. Like, is that why I'm tired?
Which one is it?
I got time for that one.
But overall, you're excited.
Super excited. I can't wait.
I feel like it's the best time, like your 40s, your 50s, because
it really
you have enough like wisdom, experience, money, time freedom, like all the things you don't have, and everyone wants to be 20. Would never want to be 20 again, because you don't have any of that. You're still trying to figure everything out.
Right.
We're all still trying to figure it out, but it's different. It's a good time.
For sure. So I am doing that. And she is 15 and a half weeks out. Is it a half? 15 weeks out from WBFF Atlantic City. And this is going to be her 12th show.
It's my favorite show, Atlantic City. I love it.
And one of the things that she is doing different this go around, if you've watched her vlogs in the past, her prep series, which are all over YouTube, instead of doing like a weekly series where she kind of recaps her week, she's decided to do a daily vlog where every day she just takes you through whatever's going on that day, whether it be a workout or what she's eating that day, or mom life, wife stuff, entrepreneur stuff, restaurants that she's going at. But the idea behind it, correct me if I'm wrong.
What was your idea? So have at it.
The idea behind it is to prove and demonstrate in real time what the possibilities actually look like inside of a prep that has a lot of room for flexibility, a lot of room for life to continue lifing, a lot of room for ups and downs and unknowns, and still the outcome be, in her case, the best package she's ever brought to the stage.
Yeah.
Because again, she is going on show number 12. So we want to continue to improve, but we want to do that inside of the way that we do it. So there's going to be a lot of outings. We like to go out to dinner. We like crazy restaurants. We like to do a lot of things. We have road trips planned. We have outings planned. We have family events planned. Nothing is going to stop inside of the next 15 weeks. Also, same thing. We want to make sure that the myth of after 30, after 35, after pregnancy, perimenopause, we want to get rid of all of the things that people anchor onto why they can't do it or why their bodies doesn't respond, when the truth of the matter is that you just haven't found the program that can accommodate all of the things that you need accommodated for you specifically. And a lot of times it just takes something that's personalized.
It's interesting because that's literally how it's been since day one.
Yes.
Like since day one, when I saw that picture of somebody else on that specific stage, and I thought, wow, like it would be so cool to do something like that. It would be so cool to feel that confident. And the moment that you said that I could do it, which I did not think for a second that I could, my first thing was like, okay, but I'm not going to live like a monk. Like I'm not going to like take Tupperware everywhere and not eat carbs, not eat bread, not go out to dinner, not have my wine. Like I was fully expecting you to be like, well, then you can't do that because.
Well, it's funny because we did a video yesterday, guys. It's on Instagram. Her, the kids, and I was saying, I proposed a question. How many times have you heard somebody use a reason, that's what I've always heard, or that's what they say you're supposed to do, as the reason for any decision that they're making? So however people get to the conclusion that if you're getting ready for the stage, you've got to do all these wild and crazy things without knowing is bizarre. Because if you're not interested and you heard, then why don't you take the opportunity to ask?
Right.
Example,
Yes.
You don't know how many times we've been in a conversation that we are both a part of, and somebody tells us what it takes. They've never done it. They know someone who knows someone, right? But they know everything about it. It's like, well, when are you going to start cutting salt? When are you going to start dehydrating yourself? You can't eat out, right? You can't eat bread, right? You can't eat rice, right? It's like, it's a question, but it's a statement at the same time. But never once has somebody said, what goes into that?
Yeah.
You know,
they just assume it like, oh no, you can't have this, right? And I'm like, yeah, I can.
And they dismiss it right away.
Yeah, like, oh really? Okay. And they just keep going. They're not like, wait, how? No one's inquisitive about it, and they just have it.
How the hell are you going to get on stage and you have ice cream every night? That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
You know? So deep down, what I think is if we shared how we do it and it conflicts with their beliefs on how they're doing something, then it would challenge why they're doing what they're doing, because they probably arrived at that conclusion with no substance.
Yeah.
And then they would have to change it or not do it that way anymore, and then that's problematic.
And again, that's been the thing from the very beginning. From day one, I was like, I want to make sure that I'm eating all the things that I like. Like, I didn't think that was a possibility. I thought that was actually probably my way out, right? I'm like, I'm not going to stop eating my Cuban toast, stop drinking my wine. So on one side, I wanted to make sure that I could continue to eat the things that I enjoy. On the other side, I was like, I'm also not going to spend all day at the gym. Like, I can't. My son was like 2 or 3, whatever. And it's like, I don't have hours to spend at the gym and do all this cardio. Like, I'm not going to live for this. Like, I just can't do that. I don't want to do that. Like, anyone can do anything. I don't want to do that. And you're like, that's not what it takes. And I don't know where I even got the idea that that's what it took. Like, sure, there are people online that do share a very like restrictive. There are people that do it that way. But I don't know where I got it from. But I deeply thought that in order to get an outcome that good, like that out of the norm, where you're that lean and you're that tight and you're that fit, I really did think that it required a massive amount of sacrifice, because dieting in general requires sacrifice to people. Imagine that to that extent or to that level.
I'm going to turn my phone around, forget these notes. I'm going to tell you exactly what it takes.
Here we go.
And then you do with that whatever you want.
What do people do?
So number 1, there's a certain amount of food that you as a human being needs every single day to function. There's a certain amount of food or energy or fuel, whatever word you want to use that makes you feel safe, that you need every single day. Your body requires energy. And if anybody wants to comment or say no or debate, I welcome you to. Because unlike other coaches, I've interacted with hundreds of people on a regular basis over 30 years. So come at me if you want. There's a certain amount of food that you need every single day for your heart to beat, for your brain to work, for your blood to circulate, for you to be able to breathe, etc., etc., etc. This has nothing to do with weight loss or fat loss or bodybuilding. There's just a certain amount of food required for you to stay alive. That is indisputable. Yes?
Yes.
Great. All right. In order for you to burn fat or lose weight, you need to consume less food, fuel, calories, or energy than your body needs on a daily basis, or overall, which is 2 different things. On a daily basis would mean that you need this amount of food every single day, you need, and that you are consuming less than that. That would be daily. Overall would mean that during the week, you need this amount of food, right? From here to here. And you've decided that inside of that week, you will consume this amount of food from here to here. So that is less than you need. Either way, it would work. Now, the key is, are you consuming what you need in the first place? And what I've seen in the last 11,402 days is that the answer is no, because most people don't know what they need. Most people know how much gas their car needs, when the oil change is, how much their electric bill is, how much money they have or don't have, but they have no idea how much food they need. And the other problem that exists on a regular basis is that even if you did, most people don't do it every single day, because that is a lot of work for most people to pay that much of attention to what they're consuming when food is usually a byproduct of hunger or availability. So, how much food do you need? Less than that every single day. And inside of what you need to include everything, not only existing, but if you're exercising, if you're moving, if you're doing other things, that's what that covers. Now, if you do that consistently enough, at some point your body will adapt. It will change to whatever the variable is, or whatever the thing that you've moved is, and then it adapts. And then in that moment when it adapts, you give it enough time to see if it's a real adaptation, meaning it's not changing, before you change something, right? Most of the time what ends up happening is that people do all these drastic things. They read somewhere that they need this amount of calories, and that if you reduce that by 500 calories per day, you will lose a pound a week, right? So they start at the bottom end without doing the first part. What we do is we make sure that somebody has the right amount of food based on what they need. We have foods that they enjoy so that they can follow the food that they're supposed to be eating on a regular basis. Because without adherence, without consistency, none of the stuff can be talked about, because most people are just not consistent. And that is the real hiccup. There is a lack of consistency across the board. Nobody is that meticulous, is the word that most of you would understand, with their food for long enough to see whether or not it's working. Meticulous doesn't mean that you're having cold tilapia out of a sandwich bag. Meticulous doesn't mean you're boiling your chicken or having egg whites only. Meticulous means that you are paying attention to everything that you're doing. That if every morning you have Cuban toast, that you know how much butter is in it. Not that you cut the butter out, that you know how much. That if you go to Wendy's for lunch and you're having whatever the number one is, that's what you're having all the time consistently. That if you're picking up dinner at Outback and you're getting the bloomin' onion, that you have that consistently. And that over time you've done that so consistent that you know what you've done. That is what being meticulous means. And that if you remove something from there, there's where the variable would be. But no one is doing that, because everybody wants either something really, really quick, or it's too much work to pay attention. That's where we live. Did you agree or disagree?
Mic drop on all of that.
So if you guys want to do it, that's what you would need to do. You would need to pay attention to everything that you are doing every single day without exception, including all the times that you don't want to pay attention. You'd have to pay attention to your sleep, to your training, to how much water you're drinking, to how much exercising you are or are not doing, to how much walking you are or not doing, to like everything. And then that's how you get there. Now, that seems super difficult for somebody who doesn't want to pay attention, but when you meet people that do want to pay attention, then it makes it a lot easier, because it removes it from your plate. And then all of a sudden, that's where the coaching comes in. Coaching is the ability to see all those things and help somebody navigate in that space. Coaching is not, here's a meal plan based on, what your BMR is, or
Well, at least not the way we do it.
Not the way that we do it. Here's a workout that I downloaded off ChatGPT. Do this and call me in a week, or call me in a month. Like, that isn't coaching. At least I don't think that that's coaching. That's certainly not the way I do it. So if what I do isn't coaching, I don't really care what you call it, but that's just not what we do.
Yeah.
And that is not how we do it, because I have seen time and time again that in the real world with real people, it takes a little bit more in order for these outcomes that you see us post everywhere, not only for them to happen, but for them to be sustainable, meaning that you can keep them way after you get to them and continue to improve, which brings me back to you. Show number 12, 8 years competing, still improving. What's going to be different about this show?
9 years competing. If we count the first year. I don't want to mess this up. Okay. So many things, and I said this in my blog the other day, so many things I feel like are going to be different, but I also feel like so many things are going to be the same, because a lot of the things that we do work, right? So first thing that's different that you already touched on was vlogging in this manner. I feel like I've always wanted to share more of what goes into a prep. My intention is always to do that, and I always get caught up doing other things, or I got to get this workout in and I don't want to record it, or crap, I didn't record that and that would have been good to share. And I think that prioritizing sharing has been one of the things that's going to be really different, because to me, like you said the other day, like I've already done this 11 times. Like I know I can do it. I'm going to do it, right? It's not a secret. It's like, but it's only as powerful at this point in my career. I feel like it's only as powerful to do it as it is to also be able to share it. Like just doing it, as fulfilling as it is for me personally, and how there's always another level, and I always learn so much about myself. It's just as important to also be able to put it out there and share it with other people. It's been the thing in the first place, like from the very beginning when I got off stage, that I was like, oh my God, one other woman has to experience, right? And then there's been some shows where it's been so much more just about me personally. And I feel like at this point, like it's really important for me to share what goes into it for all of the reasons that you said. There are so many misconceptions, and there's so many women out there that are not happy with where they are in their life. And I know how something like this could literally change their life. So again, in the way that we do it, because I feel like if you are super restricted, it would change your life in an opposite way. Like I feel like it would create a lot of issues, right? So it's an all around just superpower to do something this big for yourself. So first thing I want to different is that. Second thing that's going to be different is, as hard as I've worked every prep, and again, every prep is different for all of us, because life is lifing, like you said. There are always external factors. There's always stuff going on. And the beauty of this is that you do it anyway, right? And there are definitely preps that I felt more proud than others. And there's definitely packages that I felt more proud than others. But I will say that to have, 16, I know right now we're 15 weeks, but 16 is when we truly like decided to go all in. Not that I've stopped training or stopped doing any of that. We've been working either way. But to have 16 full weeks is the second thing that makes me really excited, because in the past, it has looked more like 12 or 10. And again, we never stop. So it's hard to say that. And
intention.
And I definitely want your take on that part, because you're the one that does the coaching, right? But for me, it feels like, wow, I have 16 full weeks where I'm like, for 16 weeks, I am doing this show, not like, okay, 12 weeks, like I got to lock in because the last few weeks have been a little bit messier than I would want it to. Does that make sense?
It does. Before I tackle that part, you said get to it, like you want to bring another level.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we've ever addressed our whole Team Next Level thing, but I just want to take a moment. It doesn't matter where somebody is starting. If you're a brand new beginner at any capacity, right? And you're looking for the next version of you, that is your next level. But here's the thing, like once you get there, there's more. So
it never ends.
There is another level, right?
Yes.
So every time that you reach the next level, it's like you get to the mountaintop only to see that there is another one, right? And that the climb, the journey itself is the thing that we are all supposed to be kind of like leaning into more. Everybody thinks that the outcome is the destination. The morning that you wake up and you see the number on the scale that matches whatever you thought it was supposed to be. Everybody thinks that that's where it ends.
Yeah.
Even if that was the goal, and even if you hit the exact number you thought, that's just the beginning. Now you got to keep it, right? And the amount of work that it takes to keep any of it is sometimes even harder than it is to get there. So Team Next Level is about recognizing that everybody, no matter where they are in their journey, whether it is day one or show one, or whether it is 9 years, show number 12, there is still the next level. And inside of the entire journey or the entire spectrum of people that we work with, we are always aware that everybody has a next level that they are working toward, and that our team is built in a way where we are going to support every version of that, no matter what it is. Sometimes the next level isn't necessarily the show. The next level might be a ridiculous photo shoot. Like we can go to Vegas and shoot in the desert, or we can go, to the Bahamas and shoot on the beach. Like there's always another level. There's always the next thing. Maybe you never ran a day in your life and you're like, I'm going to run a marathon. That might be the next level. The next level isn't limited to a certain amount of time. It's just whatever you're working toward next. And there is always another one for everyone. Yeah. 1. 2, on the specifics of what you are doing or what we are doing for you, I think that there have been a lot of shows where the prep itself didn't feel great, and then ultimately what you saw in the way that you saw yourself didn't look great, even though you look great,
Yes.
right? And I think that sometimes when you're competing or in this world or you're working on something, that a lot of times what you are paying attention to is the work that you're putting in, and that becomes the reflection in the mirror, not even what you see. Because if you half-ass something, even if you
And
reach
you know you half-assed it.
even if you reach the goal, it
Yeah.
doesn't feel that good. You know, that's and I think that you see that in other areas. Somebody hits the lottery, but they're not really good at managing their money. They end up losing all the money.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the thing itself is the work, right? The promise is in the process.
Yeah.
And the reason that that is like that is because in the process is where you learn how to earn a lot of those things and how to keep a lot of those things and why it's worth it to keep doing a lot of those things. Example, sometimes people that say that they don't like to work out, right, don't realize how bad they feel until they've worked out and felt good, and then not worked out and felt bad again, and be like, wow, I really feel like crap.
Yes.
It's like, so then which one of those do you actually hate? Do you
Right.
hate not working? Do you hate working out, or do you hate that you feel bad?
Yeah.
So the work is continuous. And I think that looking at all of the things that we've done in the past, the same way you are looking at new colors for a bikini, you want to bring a new presentation in your posing, then we also want to bring out different aspects of your body to make it come across like the improvements that we made from last year, because you stepped on stage last year, were significant on stage, but also we want to take advantage of the time that we have to bring out the best you've ever been able to bring out, because I do think that 16 weeks is a significant amount of time if you have experience working with someone.
Yes.
If you don't, then it's not that it's not a good amount of time, but you may not be able to pull out all the tricks that you can when you know somebody's physique. But 16 weeks is a significant amount of time for you to learn the way someone's body responds to food, to exercise. And if inside of those 16 weeks you are testing things and ideas and moving things around, it is plenty of time for somebody to have an amazing transformation. As a matter of fact, a couple weeks ago, we launched a program called 2688, which is the 2,688 hours that are inside of 16 weeks. And the reason that we called it that is because that's how we coach. We are a part of all of it. We are a part of
24/7
of the moments in between the time that you are awake to the time that you go to sleep. But we are also a part of that other part, because sleeping is a big component to your transformation.
Yeah.
So we are a part of every aspect of everyone's transformation, from the moment that they get started to the moment that we hit that transformation moment, whether it be on stage or a photo shoot. So 2688 became the most all-encompassing way to call what it is that what we do,
And
because
how we do it, yeah.
it's the only way to describe what we do.
For sure.
We are with you all the time. So back to your stage
So
moment.
yeah, back to the next level really quick. Like, it's hard to imagine sometimes when you see somebody and you're like, wow, like how much more can that person do? Because I've even heard that. It's like, what else do you want? It's like a lot of times, like, there is always a next level period, because it isn't just about the way that you look. There's always another level with the way that you look. But sometimes when you say that to somebody that doesn't have any experience, they're like, you want more muscle? Like, how much bigger do you want to look?
Well, you know, both times you said it, and I think what it is also a lot of times people settle for just so little.
Yes, I agree.
Most of the time, people don't even see themselves achieving the first thing, let alone even more.
Yeah.
So when you talk about doing more, and somebody isn't used to it, it does come across almost like a culture shock.
Yeah.
Like they're not even ready for that. So you might as well be speaking a different language.
But there is always a next level, because
There
it's
is.
not just the way that you look, it's how you do it, right? You learn so much about yourself. The process that you're going through, like you said, the promise is in the process. So that process can look so different depending on who you are after this show or who you are after this photo shoot. So there's always another level regardless of someone's starting point. The full 16 weeks really excite me, because I do have personal goals of how I want to look, how I want to present myself. I still don't feel, as much as I've had some looks that I favor over others, I still don't think for a second that I've like really reached like my full potential in any way. So that's exciting. What else are we doing different? You tell me.
Well, for you specifically, I want to make sure that you have a much more functional and usable body. because one of the things that happens in this bodybuilding world is that people train in a way where they get really, really stiff, and they may not be able to do day-to-day things sometimes in the way that it looks. Because you see somebody super fit on stage, but they're not necessarily functional.
Yes.
They're stiff, they're tight, they have aches, they have pains. So one of the things that I want to do that's different is I want to do a lot of things that are explosive, that are dynamic, that require a lot more mobility, which will bring out a different look in your physique, but at the same time will make your body work better. So when you finally step on stage, you're going to see a better version of you, but you're also going to see a much more usable and functional version of you. So then we can finally marry the two things that I always talk about. It's like you see somebody on stage that looks great, but also feels great.
Yes, that's really rare. That's even more rare than anything else that we do, because
So
most people feel like crap.
That's one of the things that I want to do this particular prep with you. But as far as Atlantic City goes, we have a lot of first timers stepping on stage on our team at Atlantic City. We have a lot of people returning to the stage. Bree's returning to the stage to defend her crown. We have Molly coming back, Natasha coming back. We have Rita that just did transformation at Worlds doing Atlantic City. Like, we have so many exciting things going on, and we want to make sure that we utilize our podcast, Instagram, Facebook, all the things that we can to bring more people along so that you guys can either see what's possible. I was sharing with the Barbie yesterday, like, Rita's 59 years old, right? And the next thing he said is like, wow, I really have no excuse, huh?
Yeah.
It's like, one of the reasons that we want to share so much of this is because whether you work with us or not, like, you should watch this and be like, I want to do something. You've got to be able to do something, because that something is going to bring out the best in you.
Yes.
And imagine how you show up for everything in your life when the best version of you is coming out. So that's going to be super cool. Atlantic City, Team Next Level is going to be doing an amazing photo shoot in Atlantic City. We have amazing projects coming to Miami. We have amazing projects coming in 2027.
We have amazing guests coming on this podcast.
Well, that's what I was going to go to next. And then now that it took us a couple weeks and a couple tries to figure out the space for our podcast. But now that we have a space, we have some really cool guests lined up. And we do always want to talk to more people. We love to have conversations. We love to learn more about what people do and find the parallels in so many of the things that people do in their life and fitness, right? And how a lot of things align the same way, and how fitness is such a big contributor to the way that entrepreneurs run a business, or people show up at work, or parents parent. There are so many things that just transfer over and that impact not just on the health side, but also in the way you show up as a human being.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest misconception that people think that working on themselves or doing something for themselves, having a thing. We were talking about that the other day during our photo shoot, like how cool that all these women are here together and they feel beautiful and we have a thing, And it's like, it always feels selfish because it goes against every bone in your body as a caretaker, as a provider, right? To do something like that. And it's the very opposite. Like, it couldn't be more selfless. People do not realize, the same way that they don't realize how good they feel when they're working out until they stop.
Right.
Like, until you really start to feel differently about yourself and put in that work and show up differently, that's when you realize, like, holy shit, like, everything around me changes. Everyone around me benefits. Like, it's the most selfless thing. And everyone thinks it's selfish, and it's the opposite.
And we're going to close the episode right there, because that is the biggest takeaway. The more you pour into your cup, the more you're going to have to give, right? Like, if we were all thirsty and there was that much water to drink, it's very hard for all of us to quench our thirst. But if her cup is full, then there's more to share. So look at it the same way. The more you pour into yourself, the more you have to give to everybody else. You want to do more in your life? Pour more into yourself. And taking care of your body, taking care of your health, taking care of your fitness is the easiest way to do it. And I won't even get into all the other like sciencey stuff, but it is the easiest way to do it and the one that's most rewarding. So until next time, peace out, everybody.
Bye, guys.